Hello everybody, welcome. The Cole and Linda Filmmaker Band is going to be putting together a new song, probably today, and I'm trying to get the font and make it a little bit larger so I can read this too. So this is a song that I just currently wrote about Linda cutting her thumb. It has an intro. I'll show it to you really quick so you can see the basics of it. Goes in the chorus. Okay, that was kind of it. Now, since you saw that, now I can focus on the song. Let's see if I can make this a little bit larger. I'll go into lyrics. Go to this one, okay. Here we go. And Linda's gonna be singing it a little bit later. Try it, maybe this off on that. Linda knows a witch that knows Pantera. Linda knows a witch that knows Pantera. Linda knows a witch that knows Pantera. Linda cut a thumb on a paring knife. Linda cut a thumb on this little knife. Cold at night, alone at work. Thunder, lightning, here come the storm. Vinnie, Paul, and Diamond Delro enter into the witch. And this witch, as a bitch, cast a spell on Linda's thumb. Cold at night, cold at night. Linda cut her thumb, alone at work. All right, 173,390 miles on the speedometer, 78 degrees Fahrenheit. It's April 4th. 2023. Welcome to the Please Subscribe show. Linda is resting her thumb from an injury. She'll be back tomorrow, but we'll have her in the later part of the episodes. And we're headed out. Gas tipped down about 4 pennies. So I'm about to write the role of Stephen. He's a neighbor of Jonah at the Guilford apartment above Aunt Cece's. I think this one would be good for Bob Odenkirk if he wants to accept the role of Stephen. So he's kind of Stephen is kind of a mill worker. He's kind of a hippie. He has like longer hair. He drinks out of a tumbler. So he has one of those tumblers about this size. He drinks scotch or whatever. He's kind of he's a good-looking guy. He's a good-looking guy. Favors Bob Odenkirk a little bit. And he comes in to meet the cats, and he wants to use the washer and dryer. I'm about to write that scene coming up here. Trout, some shrimp here. Like sampled. Pretty good. And 75 and a tip. All right, Rosa's Cafe, Tortilla Factory. We're gonna go in there, get your food, drop it off your doorstep, and find a subscriber. Now, Whole Foods is a really good place. It's got pizza. It's right here, Whole Foods Pizza. And it's pretty good. It's a pretty good pizza. The thing about the actor, which is I have studied, and the director, is the director has to watch the actor have fun all day. And it's fun because I'm the director and the actor. But we're going to see it right here. It's a Whole Foods pizza. It's got tomatoes on it and some bell peppers and stuff like that. That's a good pizza. It's really good.
good pizza.
Revenge is a well-lived life. That's what they say. The best revenge is for you to live a well-lived life. It's fixing the shower curtain rod. That's revenge. A nice cup of coffee, revenge. A bagel, a very good bagel, an everything bagel with cream cheese, revenge. You know how I'm going to get my revenge on all the people that did me wrong? Movies. Writing a screenplay. Whether they do that screenplay or not, you know your enemy knows that one day they could do that screenplay, now or later on at another time. Right? And still writing the screenplay, that's an achievement. In the process of writing a screenplay, achieved, accomplished, you're great. That's called a well-lived life. And a cup of coffee and a bagel. I had myself some Whole Food pizza here at Whole Foods. Got myself a little bag. Revenge. Now, watch this. Not a lot of revenge, but a little bit. You know what this is? Nice chilled Coca-Cola. Revenge. Hamlet didn't know it. Hamlet went off with a sword and poisoned the tip of it and tried to kill Claudius. And he did kill Claudius, but then it cost him his own life, so the revenge didn't work. Shakespeare knew. I'm trying to keep it up so I have this right here. But Shakespeare knew. Shakespeare knew. That wasn't the right way to get revenge. The right way was to write that poem. Live a good life. Live a good life. That's your revenge. Write a good poem. Write a screenplay. Write a novel. Write something down. Pet your cat. Yes. Pet Kitty. Revenge. And if Kitty scratches you, pet him again. You get revenge from Kitty because you're showing Kitty kindness. There's no law against kindness. Jesus knew it all because he was God. Loving Jesus. Revenge. You're mad at somebody? Have a prayer to Jesus. Get some revenge. Tell Jesus about it. Revenge. Now listen, they can never take Jesus away from you. Revenge. Revenge by love and kindness. They always say kill them with kindness. Sure. Be kind. In this industry, you got to be nice to everyone. If they spit on you, walk away and go get yourself a bagel. You know why Mark Wahlberg and Bradley Cooper and Tom Cruise and Bob Odenkirk and all of them, do you know why they are what they are today? Because they know that. They know the secret to revenge. It's in being kind. They've all been suited and noted to be kind people. Yeah, they messed up in the past. Say, God forgive me, and then go off and be kind. And show the scenery while you do it if you can. There we go, we got some scenery. Be kind and get revenge. Be a good person. That's the way to get revenge. And every once in a while, go to Whole Foods to get a nice pizza because it's healthy. Health food, good revenge. Ultimately, be good. Cool looking house right off Fletcher Avenue. Revenge. I'll try to get the Fletcher Avenue sign too. Revenge. Isn't that great? I'm just laughing because I'm thinking about Bob Odenkirk playing Steven. And I have to sell it to Bob Odenkirk. You see, these guys are in this real rundown apartment in Guilford, Maine, right across from the river called Piscataqua. And they're talking about earplugs. Earplugs, yeah, earplugs that you wear when you're like in a factory. It's got to work. It's like mundane kind of stuff, and then they're talking about, well, I'll see you at the factory. Can I use your washer and dryer and stuff like that? It's just, wow, great. So Bob would sell it, the guy's wearing a bathrobe and carrying a tumbler with some whiskey, in like on the ice. We'll put a little apple juice in there or something, but and he uses sense memory. I don't really want people drinking on set, but I don't know if it happens. It happens. I don't. It's better to be sober. But he's talking about his cats. You see his cats, Romeo Mojo, and he's talking about the washer and dryer. How can those things fell? You don't see that on. You might have saw a little bit of it on Breaking Bad, maybe, or something, but I'm not, Lucky Hank is good. Stay with Lucky Hank as long as you can. I was talking to Gary Oldman about a werewolf movie. I was like, nah, do Slow Horses. It's fine. We love it. But anytime you're ready, Steven's a good role. Now, there's another monologue for Steven when he's in the factory. And he's talking about his son. His son had run off. And I think his son went to Arizona. And it's the way that Steven... Now, I don't remember Steven's real name. Steven's a fictional name, but... it's not his fictional name, but it's not his real name. But I remember the guy was a factory worker, kind of had like, light color hair. It was kind of long and hippie-ish. And he had a son that ran off to Arizona. And the way he told the monologue was just very simple. And I thought, that's in a movie when he said it, So that's got to be dialogue from a movie. And, I don't know. He just said, my son, he ran off to Arizona. They tried to make it there. I think they came back and he ran off again. It was like that kind of monologue, Yeah, he went off to Arizona, and then they tried to make it out there. Went out there with his girlfriend, and he came back, and then he went somewhere else. Like, where is he now? I don't know. I'm sure he'll get a hold of me soon. It was that kind of monologue, I think it's good. There's something about it I like. I don't know. There's kind of a alienation, but it's also mundane. There's a ghostly father figure. I don't want to talk about that right now, but anyway, I think Steven would be good for Steven. The role of Steven would be great with Bob Odenkirk, personally. And if I got to meet Bob Odenkirk, autographs all the way, around the house, autographs, totally, just autograph this copy of Better Call Saul and Lucky Hank. By then, I'd probably buy both of the series and be watching them. But I only need to watch the end of Better Call Saul, the last season. Then, of course, I'll have to start binge watching Lucky Hank. And maybe I can do that during production because I'll have everything down. It's up to the actors. Of course, if I have to play Jonah, then I wouldn't be able to. But if Johnny takes it, then I could take a break and let everyone else have fun. And I would just sit around and watch Lucky Hank or something. And then they're like, where's Cole? He's watching Lucky Hank. We can do the scene. It'll be fine. The cinematographer can step in and I'll just watch the dailies. Now, I'll be there on set, of course. But, I think everything's great, It might be good to have, like, an assistant director with me. Because I'll be like, perfect cut, perfect print. And they're like, Cole, we need to talk. We know you like Bob Odenkirk, but there's a nose hair coming out right there. Nose hair, good. Nose hairs are good. No. Nose hairs are not good. We're going to have to get a nose hair trimmer. For you, too. I'm fine with the nose hairs. Yeah, I know, and you could lose like 30 pounds. Okay, I'll go jogging. It'll be that kind of thing. But no, seriously, I don't know. As a director, I'll tell you how I am as a director, okay? All future actors, if it is Bob Odenkirk that I'm speaking to at the present moment, or anybody. Excuse me. I've had a cold and I'm still getting over it. I need one of those little halls. Wintergreen halls, if they even sell those. Okay, like I always say, let's see what happens. Okay, so that means like kind of like action. Let's see what happens. Everybody will know the script. God forbid someone show up and not be completely verbatim. And we want to be that way because we're professional actors. So. You want to be verbatim. Of course, James Dean wasn't always. Look at this thing right here. Is that not great? Sorry, I had to include that in my monologue. So, see what happens. What happened? And then, after it's over, after the scene's over, then we do it again, you know, and see what happens. You do that kind of thing and you play with it, and then, you know, you find out, okay, that worked. And then we sit down and we watch the take with a coffee and a bagel. Or I have a coffee, maybe a bagel. At that time, I'm probably just going to be drinking coffee. But, it'd be that kind of thing. Now, when I did stage direction, of course, and I've directed quite a few stage directions, quite a few plays. One of them was Action by Sam Shepard. But I've directed quite a bit. Also directed Rosemerholm, Ibsen, a scene from it. And then a scene from Farmyard, which is Kreutz. And I've directed a lot of different stuff. And my own stuff. But I always tell the actors, I'm like, okay, you got that. You got the lines right. Let's see what happens. And then, and then they start, I think Clint Eastwood, he didn't say anything. And he just gets behind the camera. So I'm sure he says something at some point. What's there to say, I mean, what does the director has the script? He's sitting behind the camera, and he's kind of giving it over to the actors, because the actors are kind of directors themselves in a way. Now, if they have ideas, I love that. Right? You'd want to love that as a director. I love that idea. And we would go with that too, because you're going to find things with the actors, because you got to remember that it's a play, ultimately. And you'll find things with the actors as you go, Sometimes that's the best stuff. Me being like this improv kind of guy, vlogger and stuff, I'm going to be open-ended, So if someone busts out with a monologue or something, I love that stuff. And all the directors I've worked with, even playwrights, they like it too, I'm not the type of playwright or screenplay writer that finds the actor for making a mistake or missing a word. Even when they go off. Now, my friend Rob, he went off on his own monologue, and I liked it. It was very creative. It was on one thing that we did. He just went off on his own thing, and I was like, okay, that's it. And even today, I think about it, and I'm so like, wow, that's great, I had this one monologue about prayer and all this stuff, and he starts talking about the office. Not like an office you work in, but like a political office, and I'm like, wow, this is interesting. Where's he going? And then I had to do a little bit of direction and tell him to go to his car. But, it's like, that's fine. I like that stuff, It would be weird if everyone just showed up and like, let's jump on the script, everybody, But I'd probably want to have a talk with everybody and say, let's try a version of the script in one take, always. And then let's try your own version, And then let's see what happens. I like that idea. I like to play that way. Script version and your version on a lot of different things. And that might work. That might work for everybody. I think it's this one right here. I think it would work. Script version and then your version. Loving it. I know these big name actors or writers. So if they want to say something like, okay, I do want to add, I'm going to say, okay, now get on your typewriter or your Apple Macintosh computer and send me some stuff. Then when I approve of it, then you get writing credit. That's the rule. That's what I go by. So let's say you're like, it's a graveyard over there. If you go like, okay, Cole, I like the scene, but I rewrote it. I turned it into you, emailed it to you. I look at it, and then I send it back. I like it. Now you have writing credit. And then it would say, written by Cole Spivey plus, Bob Odenkirk or whatever, And then Alec Baldwin might, I know Alec Baldwin's been in some great plays. And if Alec Baldwin goes, okay, Cole, I like the ghostly I like the ghostly father figure. Here's my little interpretation. Here's my little part of the script. Comes to me in email. I look at it, I say, okay, then Alec Baldwin gets credit. And so it would be, you know, written by Cole Spivey, Bob Odenkirk, Alec Baldwin. You know, if they want to add on, I'm not going to stop that. And I'm going to like it. I'm going to like what they have. Now, if it's something real weird, then we can sit there and talk about Eraserhead, and I'll be like, okay, I feel you. You know what I mean? Like, we want to stay on the same page on style. And you'll get that from reading Escape from Maine. Do you see? And then you're like, okay, I'm writing this in and blah, blah. I know how it works. And you know, I might like this crazy idea, and I probably will. I'm really liberal when it comes to other people's ideas, especially when it comes to actors. I'm very actor friendly. I think all actors should write. And so that's kind of why it's simple. You know, I've kept these scenes very short, mundane, you know, and you're like, oh, you're trying to be Bergman. Well, yeah, there's probably going to be a scene of that. But I like that idea. I like that idea, you know, if you want to. If not, you're like, okay, well, I'll stick to what you have, you know. And I'm like, okay, that's fine too, you know. Because I know that there's been projects. I've worked on projects. I did a project in University of North Texas. We were all actors. And the director, we wrote it. So we wrote the script in improv. And then the director had someone right there next to him writing down what we said. Then they scripted it, and they said, well, this is what went on in this improv. We're going to freeze this improv. We're going to like this. We're putting this into the script. Okay, and then that goes into the script, and then you know that, and then that becomes the script. That's something that we did too. And it was a great show, and everyone at UNT liked it. It was called Project 414. It was a great director too. It was a lot of fun. So that I like that idea. The idea of mini creating one thing. It's very ensemble, and I like that.